Translation purport given by His Divine English Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come. Happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of heavenly planets. Purport. As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and to become non-violent in a philosophy of is a philosophy of fools. In the Parashara Smriti or religious quotes made by Parashara, the great sage and father of Vyasadeva, it is stated, Kshatriya hi prajaraksham shastrapani pradandayan nirjitya parasainyadi Kshitam dharmena palayat. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. And for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in the battlefield, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open for him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale स्वयं रूपकधामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम् Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, can you hear me okay? Am I audible? Because I changed the device today. Can you hear?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, now a question. Why is it so? Arjuna doesn't want to fight. Since couple of days we're discussing about the importance of prescribed duties. That means one should never try to avoid or ignore one's own prescribed duties which is actually given to us. So what happens when we ignore the prescribed duties is actually been told very nicely in Gita for us. And we should also try to understand what is the intent and purpose of actually doing the prescribed duties. Because prescribed duties is a very deep concept which is actually very correlated with our heart. That means duty, it has to be done with full consciousness and heart. For example, if I'm doing a prescribed duty, but I don't like to do that. If I don't like to do something, do I put full of my heart in that? I don't put my heart in that. For example, somebody is giving you some money while for doing a job, but you don't like that job. Do you put your full energy in that? You don't put your full energy because you don't like it, but you do it because you'll be getting some money out of it. That means, is it is it making our heart happy? It doesn't make our heart happy, because even though I'm getting money, but still my heart is not there because I don't like to do that work. Just like in the case of Arjuna, he's been kept in another state where a situation came into his life, and through that situation, his only gut feeling, his consciousness is telling him not to fight. When his consciousness, when his heart is telling not to fight, then he gives various reasons to Krishna. That Krishna, I don't want to fight this battle because of this reason. I don't want to fight because these children will be kept in a difficult state because their fathers will be killed. And then the mothers will be widowed. Widow mother is very problematic. It is not good. So all of these things are very important to understand. Why? Because Arjuna has a very specific reason why he doesn't want to fight. He clearly has a reason. But for that reason, what is he doing? He is ignoring or avoiding his prescribed duty. Please understand this. Arjuna doesn't want to fight, that is one thing. But further, what is he doing? He is not doing his prescribed duty. I'll tell an example. Let's say if a person comes to the temple and then he hears the truth, and now he gets an understanding that he wants to follow this truth. And there is a problem which is happening in his family. What is that problem? There is some family issues, or he has to do some work, or he has to lead a life which which requires him to take some responsibilities. All these things are happening in his life. But at that moment, he hears the truth that Krishna consciousness is everything. Then, yes, Krishna consciousness is everything. There's no problem that Krishna consciousness is not everything. Krishna consciousness is the essence of everything. If one practices that, that's the best thing. If one practices that, that is the best thing. 1 second, Edward. Hare Krishna. I will come again. Sankirtana. Excuse me, dear Edward. Just give me 1 second. Hare Krishna. कैब పెట్టుకొని పో తీసుకో క్యాబ్ తీసుకో పో అది నువ్వు తీసుకో ఇది పెట్టుకో. పో. నీకు ఇష్టం లేదు పో 1 second. Hare Hare Hare. So the prescribed duty, the person, he hears that brahmacharya is good. That means he wants to give up everything. No doubt that is good. Definitely that is good. But that is not to avoid something. Please understand. Brahmacharya is good, or taking vanaprastha is good. But that doesn't mean that you are avoiding everything. You are avoiding relationships. You are coming out of some responsibility. not having full faith in the Lord. Sridhar Swami, he also avoided. I'll tell that example. Sridhar Swami, a very exalted Vaishnava Acharya. When his wife gave delivery to the baby, wife instantly died after that. And then the baby is there. Now he came into the house. He saw that situation. He's thinking what to do at this moment. Then, out of blue on the wall, a lizard gave birth to a baby lizard. Baby lizard came out. And then the baby lizard immediately finds a prey, and then it will go and eat that prey. And then it satisfies its hunger. So he realized an aspect here. What is the realization which he received? The realization which he received is Krishna is fully present. He is taking care of this small lizard baby, this baby lizard also. Likewise, he will also take care of my child. Now he is fully convinced in that. Please understand, he is not giving up his prescribed duties just like that. An important aspect. He is not quitting up his prescribed duties just like that, but he is actually fully aware of that. The person is fully aware of that. Through that full awareness, he is quitting that by fully depending on the Lord, by taking full shelter. This is not that kind of giving up out of coming out of a responsibility, because if I come out of this responsibility, I can do this. Or he's not ignoring any of those responsibility, but through full conviction, full faith on the words of the Lord, he gave it up. After 25 years, when he returns back to the village, his son becomes a great scholar, because all the villagers, they would see that child is an exalted person because he was born to Sridhar Swami. So the qualities of Sridhar Swami will come to that child. So through that exalted qualities, the child becomes a great scholar. Then he's doing great. Then he understood this is the arrangement of the Lord. Then he continues his services. This is one level, dear devotees. This what is this level? This level is giving up all of those things with full faith on the words of the Lord. Because he is realizing that. He's convinced that if I do this, this is better for me. This is not a mere giving up out of avoiding the responsibility. Please understand here. Just like Arjuna is doing here, he doesn't want to kill the family members. That is why he is giving up his prescribed. This is not right. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. Arjuna is avoiding the battlefield because he doesn't want to kill his family members out of, he wants to avoid that. He doesn't want to do that because he's a family member, because he has his personal problem. Due to that personal problem, he's giving up his prescriptivity. Dear devotees, we should never do this in our life. What is that? Let's say there is a problem. We should not ignore our chanting of Hare Krishna. We should not ignore our hearing process. We should not ignore our services because of some problem. See, actually, problems will come and go. Problems are meant to come and go. But this is a material world. Material world means you'll get problems. Don't we have problems? I don't have problems. You don't have problems. We all have problems, but what are we doing? We are continuing. What are we continuing? We are continuing the process of Krishna consciousness. Because it doesn't matter whether we have this problem, that problem. No, no, no. That is not important. What is very important is through problems, what am I doing? Arjuna had a problem, but what is he saying? I will quit this prescribed duty. That means what is the first thing which is affected through our problems? The first thing which is affected through our problems is Krishna consciousness. Because when the problem comes, Krishna consciousness is the first thing which is kept aside. Why? Because the faith in the science of Krishna consciousness is fully not developed. That if this is the case, then what is the question of really working for Krishna? Where is the point of really working for Krishna? There is no point. Why? Because the faith is not there in the process. Please understand, when the faith is very weak, then cultivating the science of Krishna consciousness as per the prescribed duties cannot be done. Here, Arjuna's example is the best example for every one of us. Why? Because yesterday a devotee was asking this question, interesting question. Oh, what is that question is? Oh, we go to office. How do I ensure that I'm remembering the Lord at office also? The answer for that is, when we are really working for Krishna, when we are really working for the spiritual master, then only you'll remember. Otherwise, you'll not. Now, how am I really working for them? If I am really working for them, then whatever the results are coming through that work, I will give it to Krishna. I will give it to the service of Srila Prabhupada. That is a real science, right? That is a real way of really getting an assurance that I'm really working for them. Karma, anything which we do for ourselves is karma. But anything which we do for the pleasure of spiritual master, for the pleasure of Krishna, that is yoga. That means action plus yoga becomes what? Karma yoga. Karma is an action. Yoga is doing it for the pleasure of those personalities. Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, pleasure of Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Srila Prabhupada, for their pleasure. And we begin doing that karma for that person, then what happens? It becomes karma yoga. Merely doing everything for our own self doesn't become karma yoga. Because I was asking that question. Because we go and do work, when we remember the Lord, it becomes karma yoga. Yes, that is one level. But real karma yoga is what? When you are actually working for them. What am I doing? When I am really working for them. That means I'm putting my heart and energy. That means whatever I'm doing, I'm remembering them. Whatever I'm doing, I know I'm in the background, this is for them only. This is not for my pleasure. This is not for somebody else's pleasure. This is not for that person's pleasure, this person's pleasure. I am simply doing it for them. Actually, this is bhakti. Bhakti is very simple. I'll tell one important aspect. They are devotees. We do certain things to develop bhakti. We do certain things with bhakti, not to develop bhakti. What is advanced or what one should aspire for? One should aspire for, we should do not for bhakti, but we should do with bhakti. Now, what is the difference? I'll tell an example. Let's say spiritual master we got an opportunity to serve the spiritual master, and we are serving him. And then after that service, there's some leftover remnants in his plate. Just like Narada Muni in his previous life, he was serving the Mahabhagavatas. After serving the Mahabhagavatas continuously for a period of time, now after that service, what happened is he actually requested him, can I honor your Uchishta? What he requested? He requested, can I honor your request based, can I honor your Uchishta? That means whatever you have ate, it's Mahaprasad, and it is touched by Mahabhagavata, it becomes Mahamahaprasad. He says, can I consume that remnants? Then they accepted because because they were very pleased with his service. Now here, with bhakti is for bhakti. Important to understand. What is with bhakti? That means Narada Muni did service with devotion. That means no expectation. He simply wanted to please them. His mother told him just go and serve those personalities. No, he is not doing any calculations behind it. He is just serving. That motto itself is bhakti. That is called as with bhakti. And then later on, he adds their remnants while they are leaving. And then they immediately give. Because if they rejected that, Narada Muni wouldn't have accepted that. Because he has to receive the permission from them. Please understand. This is doing with bhakti. For example, if the same person with another consciousness is doing for bhakti, means what is, even though they rejected it, still he would accept it. Even though they said, no, 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 you should not eat that. And still he accepted it, not giving importance to the person. But his only intention is to gain some bhakti. Oh, this is not right. So the life of this personality, what do we learn is how do we actually cultivate the process of Krishna consciousness? Because one should aspire for doing for bhakti, with bhakti, not for bhakti. Obviously, no doubt, we don't have bhakti. That is definitely. We don't have bhakti. But what is doing with bhakti is, I don't have bhakti, that's why I'm doing it. This is also with bhakti. I don't have bhakti, through that not having bhakti, I'm fully depending on that process and then taking shelter and then doing it. This is doing with bhakti only. Proclaiming or understanding or confirming or reassuring that I do not have bhakti, that is also bhakti. But not giving importance to the person and then trying to do it for some achievement because, oh, if I do like this, then good qualities will come. Or if I do like that, then this thing will come. If I do this, then that thing will come. This is for bhakti. No doubt, for bhakti is also good. Not that I am not saying that for bhakti is bad. For bhakti is also good, but with bhakti is even more finer. I'm not saying that if a person who is doing practicing Krishna consciousness for bhakti is not bad, it's good only. But even one should move forward from that. One should aspire for doing with bhakti, not for bhakti. That means one should be free from that expectation also. For example, you are chanting Hare Krishna. Let's say you are expecting tears should come from the eyes, hair should stand on the head. Okay, no doubt, that is for bhakti only. Now, for that, to attain that, you are asking the Lord, give me bhakti. That is for bhakti. What is with bhakti? My dear Lord, I don't know what all of these things are. I just received this instruction that I have to chant Hare Krishna. Now you please help me because your pure devotee told me to chant Hare Krishna. Krishna, please help me. And through that dependency, when we chant Hare Krishna, this is with bhakti. That means what is the prominent thing here is, which we are trying to discuss is the prescribed duties which we are actually doing. Those prescribed duties should actually help us elevate our consciousness from one state to the other state. Ahaituki apraheda. That means I should aspire for that state. Just like Arjuna here, he is rejecting the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Why? Why is he rejecting the battlefield of Kurukshetra? He is rejecting the battle because he has some attachment with his family members. Please understand that attachment which he is carrying towards his family members is allowing him to continue the other person's cruel activities, not on his family but to the entire world. Which is more detrimental, fighting without attachment is correct, or leaving this fight for attachment? Fighting without attachment is correct because leaving this fight for attachment is actually not just obstructing just one's consciousness, but it is impacting so many other people. Please understand. Because the person who is there on the throne is actually a leader, but the leader is contaminated. Now, Krishna has a beautiful reason why Arjuna or Pandava should be on the throne because they are pure. Pure souls should be there. Not everyone should be there. Impure souls cannot be there. That is the whole point of this battlefield of Kurukshetra. Please understand. What is the whole point? Just to put his pure devotee on the throne. Please understand this, dear. It's very, very important. That means for that, Lord is ready to do anything. Just like Lord wanted to protect Prahlad Maharaj, he is for that is ready to kill so many demons just to protect his devotee. Dear devotees, when we hear about this, that the Lord is coming again and again to protect his devotees, is it not giving us, actually, it is giving us so much inspiration. That means the Supreme Lord is continuously checking the state of his devotees. If the devotees are going through some problem, the Lord is readily available. Please understand. The devotee is going through some problem. What is the Lord doing? Lord is readily available. He jumps in to that situation. He jumps into that situation and he is helping his devotee to come out of that difficult state. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is actually accepting all of those difficulties. How do we know that Prahlad Maharaj is accepting all those difficulties? Because when Narsingadev came, Prahlad Maharaj didn't revolt. One second. When Narsingadev came, Prahlad Maharaj did not revolt. What he did? Prahlad Maharaj said, "Oh, my dear Lord, I'm a very sinful person. Oh, you came for me. I'm born in the family of demons. You came to protect me. I have no existence. You came for me. I should have killed. I should have been killed by my father, but somehow you protected me continuously. What is my? I don't deserve any of these things." See the attitude. Where is the attitude? The attitude is not telling, "Oh, my dear Lord, why you came?" Because you've been going through so many difficulties. He's not telling any of those difficulties because he's not seeing them as difficulties. He is ready to take that problem continuously, even for more days. Because what is he doing is utterly depending on the Lord at every moment in his life. This is what we need to practice in our Krishna consciousness. This is what we need to aspire. Don't want to aspire anything else of this world. Because anything else of this world is actually putting us in a cheating place. It is devoid of any real happiness, which one can only experience through Krishna consciousness. Because this process of devotional service, pure devotional service is what is, it is actually putting us in a beautiful state. And that beautiful state is actually helping us to elevate us from all the so-called problems of this world. Arjuna is avoiding the fight. But the Lord, what is it telling? O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought. opening for them the doors for heavenly planets. Krishna is telling the Kshatriya is very happy if he receives a fight, Dharma Yuddha. Because no matter what the outcome is, he will be elevated to higher planetary systems. Because what he did, he simply followed the prescribed duties. Yeah, devotees, this is not an aspect of pure devotion. But the Lord is clearly telling, even if you do your prescribed duties diligently, as per as per your nature, your swabhava, very sincerely, with just doing it, you will be elevated. Person will not go to hellish planets because he is following the prescribed duties. Who will go to hellish planets? Who is not following the prescribed duties? So, for us, as per the previous sloka, where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, prescribed duties when one it is one when one is doing his prescribed duties very diligently, sincerely, without any ulterior motive, is fixed up in that process, continuously doing it without any obstruction. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he has problems. He is not worried of those problems. Oh, what is he doing? Continuously working on that plane. He's not leaving it. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. Whoever does the prescribed duties with due diligence, that person is elevated to the state of liberation. And then after that, when he continues that, that prescribed duties is no longer prescribed duty, but that prescribed duty is actually pure devotion. Because what is happening? Slowly the consciousness is transformed. Prescribed duty initially started for doing it for his family. But slowly, what is happening is the consciousness is so much tuned up into Krishna consciousness that he cannot work without pleasing the Lord. That means he's doing his work. He cannot take that without pleasing it to the Lord, without giving it to the Lord. Is that not a very beautiful situation? That means the person is actually realizing Krishna's presence in his life. Just like Sridhar Swami, he realized the presence. What did he realize? He realized the presence of the Lord simply by seeing those animals on the wall. Simply by seeing the lizard, he gets a beautiful conviction. That means Paramatma, who is actually sitting in his heart, is actually revealing beautiful things. That no, I'm not that. That's a dead matter. How can I do that? Krishna, Krishna. I cannot engage in that. I cannot engage in this. My activity is this. My activity is not that. So this gives a clarity and conviction in our heart that all of these things which we have, they all belong to the Lord. Now, how that is realized when one is doing the prescribed duties due diligently, sincerely, he'll get a desire. I'm doing all of these things, but still there is no happiness. Why? Because I never worked for Krishna. Oh, let me begin working for Krishna. Let me take this seriously. Let me accept this process nicely. What is all of these things I know what is? All of these things are an aspects, are steps to come closer to Krishna consciousness. Why we are discussing Gita? Because we want to take those steps. We want to become more and more sincere. We want to become more and more serious in our sadhana. We want to become more and more sincere in our hearing process, in our chanting process, in our reading process, in our discussing process, in our service process. Because all of these things should be done for the pleasure of the Lord. For the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Because why this? Arey, he gave his life actually. He slept only for a couple of hours. Why? For all of us. Because he wanted to give this science. He said, become pure devotees. Come to that state. Because that is the only thing which is helping you. Nothing else will come. Nothing else will give us satisfaction to our heart. How these things have to be assessed. Very important. Because what is bhakti? Bhakti is just to do it for bhakti, not for bhakti, with a bhakti. Anything which you are doing, you should do it with bhakti. The prescribed duty is where the Lord is mentioning, oh Arjuna, why are you avoiding this? Simply by doing your prescribed duties, you'll be elevated to the heavenly planets. That means when a person is actually doing it, and he'll understand, no, 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 I should do this because this is helping me to remember the Lord. That means remembering of the Lord is happening naturally, is happening naturally in the background because I'm actually doing it for His pleasure. Because when I begin doing an activity for His pleasure, then obviously I'll remember Him because I know for whom I'm doing it. For example, if mother goes to the store, she's purchasing some vegetables. She's remembering his son because she's thinking which vegetables is suitable to my son. What can I feed? The son is not there, but she's actually remembering him. Likewise, when we are actually working for Krishna, when we are actually working for Srila Prabhupada and his followers, when we are actually doing it for their happiness, then what is happening is naturally anything which we are doing, we will do it for them only. Because we know that is what we are doing it. That is a whole purpose for us. This we need to understand. So, considering all aspects, what are all the aspects? Kshatriya means he should do his duty. What is his duty? He should fight. Likewise, what is our prescribed duty? Whatever duties are being given, we should do it. Taking care of children, going to office, should do it. But what is happening is, I cannot avoid these things because I have some other problem. I should continue doing it. That means one should not come out of a responsibility because there is a problem in the responsibility. That's why in the olden days there is no question of divorce. Now everyone is taking divorce. Some problem they said divorce. Earlier it was not like that, they were accepting. Because elders were there. Elders, they were listening the words of the elders before. Elders would say, don't worry, this is a normal thing. Everyone will go through. I go through this. Don't worry, just be calm, be calm, be calm. They used to be calm because they had submission, because they had respect towards the elders. Now nobody has respect towards the elders. They would outrightly reject their words. Forget about elders. Nobody has respect to the parents. Society is going to the dogs. No one has a relationship. No one is feeling that responsibility. If that is not there, then what is the point? There's no point actually. Why? This is a whole part why the divorce rates are increasing. Why? Because there's no submission or there's no respect. There's no gratitude. They say that okay, she will be well, I will be well. I cannot deal with you. You cannot deal with me. Okay, let's divorce. There are websites also for second marriage. Earlier it was not like that. Actually, Prabhupada mentions multiple times. When you are married, that's it, you are married, there is no question of divorce. You have a problem, you have to deal with that. For example, if a person is not ready to deal the problem now, the problem will come next life. Why you want to postpone the problem? Anyhow, the problem will come because the karmic reactions are there. So one should actually grow through that. No doubt, if we feel person having so many problems, we should pray for them. We should pray for their well-being. We should not say that, oh, this is karmic reaction, you suffer. No, it's not like that. It's not hard art. We pray for them. We pray for their well-being. Please understand that. Because when I begin doing that, what happens is genuine soft-heartedness comes against justice. Because if that soft-heartedness is not coming, what is happening is externally we see so many things and then we get bewildered. Our consciousness gets bewildered and then we don't accept those things. Is it not a problem? It's a problem. That is the whole point why the divorce rates are very high. Because nobody is in a position to accept the other person's mistake. They say that he is wrong, but nobody wants to see my problem. Nobody is saying that I also have some problem. This is a big problem actually in this world. No one has good relationships. Forget about following. If a superior is telling something, or if a family or if a father is telling something, child or son doesn't want to hear. Why? Because lack of relationship. Because if everyone begins to think independently, oh, why this world has to be created? It's like animalistic mentality, right? Everyone is thinking independently. No one is dependent. Everyone is thinking independent. Oh, let me do this, let me do this. Let me be like this, let me be like that. Independent. Whatever his mind is telling is just doing it. Just doing it. It's a problem. This is the whole point why divorce rates are very. Nobody wants to take a second opinion. There's no time. Because both are working. You work, I do this, she do this. It's a problem. Continuous. So this thing has to be addressed. That's what your Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. Person has to do the prescribed duties very diligently. If the prescribed duties are done correctly, then what happens? Then he comes to the state of liberation. Because he knows why he is doing that prescribed duties. Now Arjuna has a problem. You see, another important, interesting aspect here is Arjuna is not quitting the battlefield and then going away, running away. Just like people in this world, they run away. There's a problem, they run away. There's a problem, they want to give up. Oh, there's a problem. Let me take sannyas. Oh, it's not like that. Sannyas ashram is the greatest ashram. One should come into that ashram with greatest realizations. Not that I have a problem. Let me take sannyas. Oh, my wife is not listening. Let me do this. My children are not listening. Let me take vanaprastha. This is not the case. Or my parents are not listening. Let me take brahmacharya. That's not the case. That means for a problem is there. That's why he's coming out of to come out of the problem. He's taking something else. That means do it, then the problem will not exist. As per karmic reaction, we have to go through that problem. It doesn't matter where we are. That means even if the person is changing the ashram, still the problem is not going because he has to go through the karmic reaction. In this life or in the next life, he has to go through it. He cannot avoid that. There's no question of avoiding anything in this world. He has to go through that. Likewise, for example, if a person is having a difficulty, should deal with the difficulty. But people, what are they doing now? They give divorce. Okay, let's do divorce. Okay, you stay there, you stay there. Don't come. Divorce. For a problem, you have to go through that. That means what is happening? A karmic karma, through karma, a problem came. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to ignore that problem. Do you think that the karmic reaction is solved? No, the karma didn't burn. The karma is only half burned. It will come again. What is happening? The karma is half burned. It will come again. So a lot of people will say, okay, I took divorce. This is very nice. I'm very happy. No, no, no. We have to suffer more. Because what we are doing, we are not following the prescribed duties. What is the dharma of a father and a mother? Is to give children good place, good facility for what? So that they practice Krishna consciousness. If that facility is not given, you should not become a father, you should not become a mother. Who's telling? Bhagavatam is telling. That means what is the real prescriptivity? Is to elevate ourselves, not just ourselves, our children also into the science of Krishna consciousness. That is not done. One shouldn't become a father. One shouldn't become a mother. No, it looks heavy, but it is Bhagavatam. That's why Bhagavatam means everyone wants to see Rasalila. Oh, tell that 5 chapters, what's happening there, the 10th canto. Oh, that is not Bhagavatam. That is for Rasikas, Rasika Shiromanis, for all the personalities who have given up this world. They are in this world, but they are not part of them. For them, they have to hear Rasalila, not us. For us, we should remember, we should understand the principles. We should be absorbed in the principle. We should dwell the principle. We should come out of those problems, come out of the situations. Then it makes sense. Otherwise, it will not make sense. So this thing we should understand. So dear devotees, prescriptivity should be done very diligently. You should not give it up. So when you do the prescribed duties sincerely, what happens is a situation will come into our life where you don't have to do prescribed duties. We are fully engaged in pure devotion. जरूरत नहीं. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning in the previous one. Prabhupada is telling if you are doing the prescribed duties sincerely, you are doing karma yoga, then that karma yoga will lead to bhakti. You don't have to work anymore. Krishna will take care. He will give everything. Just like Sridhar Swami, he realized he left his son, just a son. His son was born. His wife died. He sees the lizard on the wall, small lizard. He's thinking, who will give the food to the small lizard? Immediately, an insect came, immediately ate the thing. The mother lizard did not teach the child lizard, oh, you should eat like this, you should eat like that. No, there is no training like that. Immediately, direct production. There is no development, QA environment, direct production, attack. Then he realized, this lizard is being protected by the Lord. This child will be protected by the Lord. He left to that at that moment. This is not giving up his prescribed. This with conviction. He left with conviction. So because he left with conviction, he's not avoiding his duty, rather he's going for higher service. Please understand. Here Arjuna did not run. Rather, what he did is Arjuna is showing that I have a problem here. Oh Krishna, please take care of this problem. Please correct me this problem. But today's day and age, this is missing. That's the proper says that we learn so many lessons from Arjuna. In today's day and age, this is missing. Nobody wants to come. Nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to ask that kind of question. I have this problem. How do I solve this problem? Because everyone is solving their problems independently. That is the point. Solving the problem independently without higher supervision is not. That's why we glorify Arjuna today also, because he heard from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his supreme spiritual master, his teacher, and then he followed him. That means submission has so much power. So through that following, what is happening? All the karmic reactions are changed. Completely transformed. So no karmic reactions anymore. Moving forward. This is bhakti. One should aspire for this state, for this consciousness, because if the prescribed duties are not done diligently, if the prescribed duties are simply there on the karmic reaction, then this realizations will not come. The prescribed duties are done to please the Lord. It should be done for their happiness. Because if the prescribed duties are done for their happiness, that is where the submission comes, right? Because every activity gives us some qualities they do. If I begin doing it independently, I get some other qualities, independent qualities. When I begin doing that services through dependency, then I get another kind of quality, which is Krishna conscious qualities. But when I don't do this, or when I just merely do it out of my own thing, then I get qualities according to that, and then through that qualities, I get karmic reactions also. Arjuna is suffering, but he's asking a solution to that suffering. He's not quitting that suffering. He's not running away from that suffering. Suffering is good. How and when we approach the right person for that suffering. Very important, because this world is meant for that one. Please don't understand or think that only bad things do happen. No, there are good things also happening. Through karmic reaction, whatever karmic reactions we have, we will get that. So good, bad, it doesn't matter. Both one should accept it in a similar way. That is a real understanding. The more we work on that, the more we aspire to develop good consciousness. Bhakti is that only. Prabhupada is mentioning here, when we see the example of Bali Maharaj had an opportunity to follow the words of his spiritual master, Shukracharya. Because Shukracharya told him, "Oh, don't give. Don't accept for three footsteps. He will devour your everything." Now, why Shukracharya is telling that? It is good, right? If Vishnu comes, if he takes away everything, it's pure devotion. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Why is Shukracharya telling that? Because Shukracharya is dependent not on the Lord but on the Bali Maharaj. Because if Bali Maharaj is gone, then it's difficult to maintain Shukracharya. But where is he depending? He's depending not on the Lord, but rather he is depending on the person. Now, through the dependency, what is happening? He says, no. That means internally what is happening is thinking about himself. Please understand. If a person is thinking about himself, he cannot fight the battle. Because Arjuna is there, a situation, because Arjuna is thinking about his family members, that is why he cannot fight. But the moment he understood the Gita, he understood the essence of everything, he said, I'll fight. Because what is he doing? He's not thinking on those lines, but rather is thinking on the lines which Krishna is giving. Oh, both look same, both look similar. But one is allowing him to do the fight, the other is not allowing him to do the fight. One is allowing him to do practice Krishna consciousness, the other thing is not allowing him to do. Because the moment you begin thinking independently, what is happening? We cannot work on this plane. But the moment you begin thinking dependently, what happens? We will work on that plane. That means the plane of Krishna consciousness will work. But on the other side, we cannot work. So this is the problem. This problem has to be addressed. This problem is there in every condition show. We should address this problem. Our consciousness has to be changed. So the best solution is what Bali Maharaj did, we should do. See, Bali Maharaj is acting on the plane of Guru Sadhu Shastra because he heard this truth from his grandfather also, Prahlad Maharaj. Because now there is a contradicting aspect which he is seeing through Bali Maharaj, through Shukracharya. immediately rejected that. Please understand. What he did, he said, Shukracharya said, don't accept. Generally, he accepts every word of Shukracharya. Because whatever Shukracharya says, he will do it. But in this case, he is not doing it. Why? Because it is an obstruction to Guru Sadhu Shastra. Now, Arjuna had seen that obstruction in his consciousness. That is why he is going to Krishna and asking a solution through that, for that. And that solution gave him a greatest realization. And he fights the battle and then becomes victorious. On one side, he has a very difficult, serious problem. But the solution to that is not that problem, but completely contrasting to that, opposite. It's not that. It's completely something else. So Krishna is telling another solution. Arjuna is asking solution how to come out of the situation, but Krishna is telling you fight. Arjuna was not expecting that. Likewise, when spiritual master says something to disciple, disciple is not expecting that. Something else will come. Because that is the solution, that is the only solution for him. But another aspect is spiritual master will not tell the disciple the deep things until he has that relation. He says, that's okay, continue. Let's move forward, But stick on to the process. Stick on to the, we'll find some other way, some other thing, some other shape or form. But in this case, Bali Maharaj, he has already known the truth. He's fully convinced with everything. That means the moment he sees an obstruction, change, he is outrightly rejecting it. Now, this outrightly rejecting and accepting the words of the Lord pleased the Lord so much. Please understand, when you're actually hearing from one source continuously and then doing everything continuously based on their words, but that person, when he's speaking, rejecting that person is another interesting aspect. Because at that moment, Bali Maharaj, he did not see Vamandev as Vishnumurti, because he is just like a child. But still he rejected. He did not see Vishnu. That is very interesting aspect. If he has seen Vishnu, rejecting the words of Shukracharya is one thing. But he did not see Vishnu at that moment. What is he rejecting Shukracharya's words? Yes, this is the greatness of prescribed duties, Jado. Bali Maharaj never went away from his prescribed duty. This pleased the Lord. Because his duty, prescribed duty is what? Whoever comes, he gives everything. Kya chahiye, whatever you ask, he will give. That is his quality. That is his nature. Through that nature only he is ruling the kingdom. That means his prescribed, the nature is affecting the prescribed duties. Please understand this. It's important. Whatever the person is carrying, whatever nature is carrying, that comes into that. For example, if the person has beautiful Vaishnava qualities, if that person is teaching, then those qualities will come into the teaching. Now he might be teaching computers, he might be teaching Bhagavad Gita, he might be teaching something else. All those qualities will come into it. That means who is benefiting? Whoever is coming in that association, they are all benefiting. Because what that person will teach, because that person will teach those qualities only. Likewise, Bali Maharaj, what is he doing? He is bringing up all those qualities which he has. What is that quality? To give. Dhan. Now, he not accepted stating that he is Vishnu. He just gave because of giving. Because he is thinking, even though if the person is not Vishnu, that's still okay. But I want to do that. That is the greatness of Vaishnava. Pure soul. Amazing. Because he doesn't want to do. He's not thinking that, oh, this is Vishnu, let me do this. Because if Vishnu comes and giving to him, everything is good. It's good for me. He's not even thinking like that. Let me just do my service very nicely. If he's not Vishnu, that's okay. If he's Vishnu, that is even more okay. That is the greatness of this person. So this we need to understand. See, the nuances or intricacies Krishna consciousness is very deep actually. It's a very deep science. That means what should dominate? The quality should dominate. The quality should outpour. One time a devotee was asking a question to the spiritual master. He said, Prabhu, the anarthas are always coming. We wanted to do, but anarthas are always pulling us away. Wanted to do this service, but somehow the anarthas are pulling us. How to come out of this? He said, gratitude. When we continue to cultivate deep gratitude, what happens is, doesn't matter with our situation, where we are, what we are. We wanted to do that. We really wanted to do that. Our intention is to please. Doesn't matter where I am. So that gratitude is very powerful because they gave us so much. When we feel like that, then we'll be of some service. Correct. Very important. Bhakti is that only. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Anyone has any question? Would like to add anything? Like to share?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Rachana Mataji. Please tell.
Uh, Prabhuji, you said that when we do our prescribed duty nicely, then we rise from karma yoga to bhakti yoga. So, like when I am in this body of a mom, so as a mom, I have to do my all my prescribed duties properly so that I can rise from karma yoga to bhakti yoga.
So, here an interesting aspect. When we do our duties sincerely, what happens is, naturally we remember the Lord. We see their presence. Because through the child also, we know this child, no, in this life is my child. But this person is also going through so many karmic reactions. So this is an opportunity for me to correct that. And this has been given to me as a gift of the Lord. So by remembering all of these things, when we begin doing that service, what happens is slowly we will evolve. Because what is the duty of mother? Duty of the mother is to take care of the children, give them nice Krishna prasad, see that they are engaged in Krishna consciousness, see that they are moving forward in Krishna consciousness. That is the duty of the mother. So what is that? That is the prescribed duty for us. What is the duty? We practice Krishna consciousness and we allow our children, give them an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. So through this, what is happening? Slowly but steadily, our remembrance of the Acharyas and the Lord is intensified. Our remembrance of the Lord is intensified. So this thing we understand more and more. So slowly what is happening is the consciousness is elevated. Because what are we doing? We know we are dealing with the Amsha of the Lord only. So at every moment we have an opportunity to make advancement. So to our side, what you just mentioned, one second. Right. So to our side, what you have mentioned is when we do our prescribed duties diligently, slowly it will become to bhakti. Yes, definitely. But we should always remember, are all my prescribed duties allowing me to remember the Lord at every moment. You should always check that. Am I really pleasing the Lord? Am I really pleasing Srila Prabhupada? If yes, then definitely will lead to bhakti. Very good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tandatnam all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful katha. Every day inspiring us. Yeah, like Arjuna, we almost have almost these kind of questions. Whenever we do something, is it the right thing we are doing? Or, if we are just doing it because of our moha, like how Arjuna. But after listening, Prabhuji, we get a confidence that even though sometimes we think, we are trying to kind of in the attachment or detachment, but as long as it is for, uplifting of Dharma and it is for, we are doing for Krishna, of course, not artificially, but we have to, that's what my understanding, Prabhuji. Please add for Krishna.
So, whatever we are doing, if all that doing is giving us an opportunity to please our acharyas, to remember the Lord, then that is good. If there is an opportunity, the more practical way should begin engaging in some services. Through that services, what is happening? Slowly but steadily, we'll move forward in our devotion. Because that is also very important, right? So those aspects are important because, for example, if I'm doing everything for my own self, if I use the word called Krishna in between, oh, that will not help. For example, let me take a situation. For example, if I'm doing everything, let's say if a person is doing everything for his own self, for his own happiness, for his own thing, just like that Brahmana, he has followers also. Narada Muni comes to him and then he asks Narada Muni, can you go and ask Vishnu, can he take me back to the spiritual world? Then Narada Muni says yes. And that Brahmana is doing his Gayatri 3 times a day. He's doing his yajna. All of those things are he's doing. But the person's attitude is not right. Why the person's attitude is not right? Because he's doing all of them, all of those things for himself. On the name of Krishna, he's doing all of those things for himself. When we begin, we proclaim that we are practicing Krishna conscious, but we should really ask this question, am I really doing this for Krishna? Am I really doing this for using Srila Prabhupada? When we begin asking these questions, what happens is, we'll get a clarity that our heart will tell, am I really doing, am I really pleasing? Am I really chanting? Am I really working on this? Should I continue to work like this more? Or is this sufficient for me? Oh, what should I do? What is the best? How many days I will live in this life, in this body? What is the best thing I can do? These kind of questions are very practical questions. For example, I can tell Sarva Dharman Parityajat Mamekam Saranam. And after that, somebody has taken his shoes and then he's fighting for that outside. Hey, kaun liya mera shoes? Who has taken my shoes? What's happening? Are you just told Sarva Dharman Parityajat Mamekam Saranam? Oh, that is not only my shoes is important. What are you saying? What is happening? There is no correlation to that. For example, everyone will say, yes, yes, doing it for Krishna, Prabhu. Everything I'm doing it for Krishna. I'm working for Krishna. But when we actually see into the details, are we really working for Krishna? For others, we should say, yes, yes, Prabhu, you told Hare Krishna, great. You are working for Krishna. But for us, we should not see like that. For us, it should be different. Please understand. See, Krishna consciousness is a simple process, but taking that process, it takes some lifetimes. Or for some, it will take few months. It depends. It's very important. Well, there's so big congregation in Tampa, but how many of them are hearing every day in the morning? Very few. That means how many are interested in to take Krishna consciousness? Very few. How many really want to understand what Krishna consciousness is? Very few. But if there is an activity in your city, oh, all devotees will come. They'll do some activity, finish that activity, go, and then they'll do their thing. There's no connection. But how is that connection established? How is that connection established? Real connection, how is that established? When you are really thinking, hey, what am I doing? Kya kar raha hu main? What am I doing? What should I do? What is the real thing? Papa says the real thing is bhakti. Oh, real thing is bhakti. Then what am I doing now? Am I doing bhakti? Or it is bhukti? What am I doing? This is introspection. We should actually introspect. I'm not telling that all the devotees are not practicing. No, no. Whatever practice they are doing, let them do. But we should think about what am I doing. Dear devotees, we should not put this question to others. Please understand. When you put the same question to others, you get frustration actually. Rather, not more than frustration, you'll actually offend the other person. This is not Krishna consciousness, is not to offend others. Are Krishna, this is to ask to ourselves. That yesterday, I remember, I shared that example also. Yesterday, the devotee was asking, Prabhuji, this is general question. Everyone has this question. Everyone has this question. What is that question? Is I go to office, but how do I remember Krishna? I deal with so many materialistic people. How do I remember Krishna? Oh, you remember Krishna if you work for Krishna. What is your work for Krishna? You give some salary at least for the pleasure of Krishna, for the service of Srila Prabhupada. That means practically you're getting salary, you're giving it to the Lord. Wow. It's coming, you're giving. It's coming, you're giving. Wow. Practically you're doing it. Krishna, that means you should do with love also. You should do it with full heart. You should be very happy and give. Oh, I'm giving. No, not sad, because Krishna is seeing that also. He's the Krishna. For example, you're giving, wow, Lakshmi is going. Krishna will not take that. Hare Krishna is Koti Lakshmi Devis are serving him continuously. Krishna doesn't want our Lakshmi. But Krishna wants our Bhava. Bhava Gare Janardana. You should ask this question, what am I doing? I really ask this question. If I have everything in the bank, the balance, what is it doing? This is a very interesting question. Then that devotee did not speak a word. You know what? After that answer, oh, you should give something for the pleasure of the Lord. He said, Prabhu, you should give 50. Apre. He did not speak a word after that. He said, oh, no. Then I said one thing, interesting aspect over there. Prabhu, this depends on your conviction in the process. This depends on your faith in the process. This depends on your Acceptance on the this depends on your how much you're depending on the process, how much you're fully focused in the process. Then you will do it. If you're not depending on this, then how can you do this? Then I said, oh, don't worry about this. If you're not there, just understand that there is higher principles which are working, and we should become very humble, understanding that our position is not that. Actually, devotees who are actually doing, they're very humble actually. They think that, oh, it's all been given by the Lord only. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. But the person who don't do that, they do it. They do all this stuff. Is that Prabhu? When you understand that when we are not there yet, then we should genuinely become humble. And then pray to the Lord for that kind of desire to manifest. Because what happens is, through those services, you get so many realizations. Not just that, you're protected from the onslaught of this material nature. You know what is the greatest thing which happens when one does service? For the pleasure of spiritual master, for the pleasure of Acharyas and the Lord. The first thing it happens is you are protected from the onslaught of this material nature. That means you have a problem, but you're not affected. Is that not a protection? It is. You'll be happy. You only see devotees happy. You don't see anyone else happy. I noticed in this world, there's so many people earning so much, but they're not happy. Only devotees are happy. Devotees means we're actually practicing. We're actually following what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Dear devotees, I'll tell you something. It's a secret. If you just follow what Srila Prabhupada or the spiritual master is telling, you'll be happy. The core problem is you don't follow that. That is the problem. That's why we don't get happiness. I don't follow. I'm not getting happiness. You should follow more. Please understand. You're all following in some way, shape, or form. I'm not following. So you should follow more. When you follow more, what happens? This has to manifest. Correct. It's very, very important. Temple president or becoming the treasurer of the temple or becoming the accountant of the temple. This will not give that happiness. Really following the words of Acharyas will give happiness. Even though you are not nothing, you are not anything. You don't have any position, but still you'll be. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? If I spoke anything wrong, please excuse me. If I caused you inconvenience through my words, please forgive me. But it is very important. What I said today, if you really understand the prescribed duties, you'll make a lot of advancement in Krishna consciousness. What Bali Maharaj did, you should see that. What Arjuna did, what Prahlad Maharaj did. For a 5-year-old boy, what he did, he simply remembered the Lord. That is his duty. Just doing it. Kuch bhi nahi kiya. What he did, he just remember the Lord. What? As a Jiva, what we can do? We cannot do anything actually. We're very tiny. Amsha. But this amsha is continuous remembering the Lord. Oh, it is the greatest benediction actually. Actually, when we hear the truth, when we try to remember the truth, when we try to meditate the truth, is this not a greatest thing? Who is doing in this world? What is doing? Is Krishna not pleased? Is Prabhupada not pleased? They are very pleased. Is spiritual master not pleased? They are very pleased. Very important. Let us all continue with the prescribed duties, do our duties diligently, and then see that all these activities and actions are done for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, and move forward. So that is devotion. Should aspire for that moral. Hare. Subha Prabhu, is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you all very much. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे
नीलकंठ प्रभु जी की जय।